There are many great players who haven't even gotten a taste of one. So, who are these players? How good were they? And did they really deserve to win the highest individual award in football? Let's take a look at 7 candidates who are worthy of the honour. Coming in at number 7 is arguably one of the greatest footballers of all time. His name is Alfredo Di Stefano, and many football lovers agree that 1956 should have been his year. Interestingly, this was the first ever Ballon d'Or, but for some reason, Di Stefano was overlooked in favour of Stanley Matthews. Yeah, I know. Who in the world is Stanley Matthews? Well, Matthews is an iconic figure in English football, but that didn't mean he deserved the award. First of all, he had gotten to the ripe old football age of 41, so this award felt more like a parting gift, if not anything else. But let's not judge him by his age alone. After all, a good season is a good season, right? In Matthews' case, he had one of the worst seasons of his career with Blackpool. He didn't play well, and his team didn't win as little as a plastic spoon. But how exactly did France football deem him worthy of the Ballon d'Or over Di Stefano? Did they forget that the young and informed striker just led Real Madrid to the first ever European Cup? Or maybe they forgot that he netted a total of 29 goals in as little as 37 matches in the Spanish La Liga that season. I'm sure they did, because Di Stefano was without a doubt the best player in the world at the time, not Matthews. The Real Madrid legend did go on to win the award twice later on in his career, but the 1956 edition was a real shame. Next on our list is another soccer great who was denied the prestigious award in 1996. Thankfully, it wasn't to an underperforming player at the time. I'm talking about Brazil's Ronaldo, who lost out on the award to Germany's Matthias Sammer in what would go down as the tightest call in Ballon d'Or history. So just how close was the call? Ronaldo lost by just 1 vote, but unlike England's Stanley Matthews, who was lackluster, Matthias Sammer played very well for Borussia Dortmund and Germany. His brave defensive approach inspired his country to their famous Euro 96 win, and he helped Dortmund grab their 2nd consecutive Bundesliga title. This was without a doubt an excellent season for Sammer, and no one would argue that he wasn't the best defender in that era. However, he was nowhere close to Ronaldo, who was seriously crushing the game at the time. The World Cup winner had made a record-breaking transfer to Barcelona, where he totally exploded in the 1996-97 season. Ronaldo was fast, entertaining, and he made everyone want to watch the La Liga. That's just how good he was. As a reward for all his exceptional play, he won the FIFA World Player of the Year award, but for some strange reason, France football kept the Ballon d'Or away from him. I guess they didn't want one man having it all. Next on our list is another ex-Barcelona player who should have won the Ballon d'Or at least once for his exceptional work at Arsenal. I'm talking about none other than Thierry Henry, who was denied the prestigious award in 2003 in favour of Pavel Nedved of Juventus. A lot of football enthusiasts have called this the biggest robbery in football, but looking back at it, that sentiment seems a bit too harsh. At the time, Henry was the main man in the English Premier League, and he could have easily won the Ballon d'Or more than once. However, the 2003 edition was his closest call. To be fair to Nedved, he had just had a great season with the old lady. He made as many as 28 goal contributions for Juventus in the Serie A and the Champions League combined. But let's not forget that Nedved didn't play in the final due to his suspension in the semis. So even with all his contributions throughout the competition, he wasn't there on the day that mattered the most. That aside, Nedved's 28 goal contribution is nothing compared to Henry's 42 goal haul and 26 assists. That's a 66 goal contribution in a single season for Arsenal. To add some icing on the cake, Henry broke the single season assist record that season, and while it's true he didn't win the Champions League or domestic league like Nedved did, his individual numbers were just too good to ignore. Maybe France football forgot that winning the Ballon d'Or should be based on individual performances, not team trophies. Wesley Sneijder is next on our list, and 2010 was the year everyone thought the highly talented Dutchman would win the Ballon d'Or. Unfortunately for him, the award went to Lionel Messi instead. Of course, Messi is the GOAT, but even the best players can have less than impressive seasons, and such was the case for the Argentine in 2010. Anyone who followed the Italian Serie A, the UEFA Champions League, and the FIFA World Cup that year would bet an eye that there was no player in the world that would stop Sneijder from taking the Ballon d'Or home that night. Well, be glad you didn't bet on it, because it wasn't even close. Sneijder finished 4th, and this came as a huge surprise since he was the best player in Jose Mourinho's treble-winning Inter Milan. Sneijder won the Italian Serie A, the UEFA Champions League, and the Italian Cup. As for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, Sneijder's Netherlands reached the final and were very unlucky not to have beaten Spain on the night. Speaking of the 2010 World Cup, Messi looked completely lost in the midfield against Germany, who knocked them to pieces in their quarter-final encounter. It was a total thrashing, as Germany put 4 unreplied goals past the Argentine keeper. So, since Sneijder outshined Messi both of the competitions they played in that year, how exactly did Messi win the Ballon d'Or over him? While you tried to figure out that mystery, let's talk about the number 3 player on our list who should have won a Ballon d'Or. He goes by the name of Frank Ribery, and he would have won it in 2013 if not for a certain player nicknamed Mr. Champions League. But wait, Mr. Champions League didn't even win the Champions League that year, but Ribery did. Not only that, The Frenchman was also a vital component of the Bayern Munich team that went on to win a treble that season. It's true Ronaldo scored a jaw-dropping 69 goals in the 2012-13 season, but his goals didn't help Real Madrid achieve anything. They finished second in the league and they were booted out of the Champions League semi-final. So, here's the big question. If Bayern Munich were the best team in Europe in 2013 and Ribery was their best player in the same year, doesn't it make sense that he'd be awarded the Ballon d'Or? Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm guessing Ribery was shunned in favour of Ronaldo, just so his highly popular rivalry with Messi would continue. Speaking of the Ronaldo-Messi rivalry, the Argentine took home the 2019 Ballon d'Or to deny Virgil van Dijk what should have been a historic win for the Dutchman. In the history of the awards, only 3 defenders have managed to get their hands on it. These include Matthias Sammer, Franz Beckenbauer and Fabio Cannavaro. Van Dijk should have been number 4 as he played the centre-back position all season long with a kind of dominance we've not seen in decades. He put up superb performances week in, week out to help Liverpool win the Champions League that season, and it wasn't all about his defensive work as he contributed to the goals too. Let's not forget that it was also Van Dijk who inspired Liverpool to dump Messi's Barcelona out of the Champions League that season before becoming eventual winners. So we're almost at the end of this video. But how can we leave without talking about Robert Lewandowski, the man who should have won the 2020 edition but was denied not because of another player but because of a global problem. The 2020 Ballon d'Or award was cancelled all thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, which shook the world to its knees and brought all sporting activities to a standstill. Unfortunately, this was the year Lewandowski was playing like a man possessed. He was banging in the goals at will, and he struck fear in the hearts of any defenders who crossed his path. Without a doubt, he was having the best time of his playing career, as he had just inspired Bayern Munich to an amazing quadruple winning season, with him being their top scorer. Everyone knew Lewandowski was the right man for the 2020 award, but sadly, it was never to be. The following year, Lionel Messi picked up the award, thanks to his Copa America victory with Argentina. Was that really enough? Messi himself admitted that Lewandowski should have won the award, and that the previous edition, which was cancelled, should be awarded to him anyway. So, are there any other players you feel should have won the Ballon d'Or but didn't? We'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.